So on Tuesday, I got to be a part of the pre-screening of the upcoming Chris Pratt film, The Tomorrow War, which airs on Amazon Prime this Friday. That's Friday, June, what is it, July? Yeah, July 2nd. And I got a lot of thoughts about it, but this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Like I said, the movie comes out July 2nd. That would be Friday, not today. Today, technically, I'm pre-recording this because there was a review embargo, so I couldn't talk about it beforehand. I want to talk about it before, but today, for me, today is Wednesday, but you're going to be seeing this on Thursday, so technically the movie comes out tomorrow. It's confusing. Sometimes I don't like, that's why I don't like doing pre-recordings. It kind of really throws me off. But yeah, it comes out tomorrow, Amazon Prime, and before I get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m.-ish. I will be doing the usual live stream I do on Thursdays to review the episodes of Loki. I really enjoyed this Wednesday's episode, and I have a lot of thoughts about it, so I will be talking about that. And as always, like, subscribe. That really helps me out. I really appreciate it. But let's get into this. Let's talk about the movie, The Tomorrow War. So, for those of you who've never heard about this movie, I haven't seen the trailer yet. In a nutshell, soldiers from the future come to the present. I believe the year is 2023. And they are recruiting because aliens have invaded Earth. And so they're recruiting people from the past to fight the monsters in the future. And I know what you're thinking. The premise is kind of stupid. It really is. It really is. The premise is kind of dumb, and it's something that I wasn't exactly ready to accept, because I have a lot. If you've watched any of my content, I have a lot of issues with time travel. A lot of issues with time travel, mainly because it doesn't make any sense ever. But the way that they handle it here is, I believe, the appropriate way of handling time travel, and that's okay. It's kind of silly, but these are the rules, and these are the rules that we're going to play by, so you kind of have to accept them. So in that context, I accept it. Okay, it's fine. It's kind of like Back to the Future. Like, these are the rules for this time travel. Fine. So as far as the time travel stuff goes, it's a little bit silly, but once you accept it, it's like, okay, fine. That's how that works. Whatever. They don't really actually even try to explain it that hard. It's just they say, well, we came here, and this is why we can't do other stuff or jump to other particular times. So there you go. They do accept it or don't. We're not going to give you any more information on that, and that's totally acceptable. That's fine. I get it. I actually sometimes I prefer it. It's one of those things where, like, okay, the movie's not trying to be too smart or for its own good. So okay, fine, acceptable. Again, totally cool. So the movie, for me, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. In a nutshell, fantastic. Highly recommended. It's one of the best movies I've seen this year, at least original movies. It's action-packed. It's really tense in a lot of moments. You're really feeling like let's say the heat of the moment, the weight of it. There's a lot of time pressure, which is handled in a weird way, because there's a moment where there's like a lot of like time constraint, and then there's like a really weird tense pause, and then it's again really, really tense because I don't know, like they remember they're against the clock. I don't know why they did that, but it was fun because you're enjoying it. It's really well made. Visually, it's phenomenal. Like the way that they make the special effects, the way that they make the aliens look, they look legit. Like, it's among the best effects I've seen. Like, Amazon put a lot of money into this. The director did a good job in handling everything. Like I said, the tone, the look, and the acting. I would have changed a few things in the acting, but it was fine. It's not my decision. The only thing is that you could tell the director, I believe this is his first big live action movie, and before he made the Lego Batman movies. So sometimes he throws a few jokes there that I don't think were appropriate, but okay, it's their style. And sometimes they do a little bit physical acting that's a bit silly, and because when you animate something, you can be silly and it's fine. It looks cool. When it's a human trying to do something a little bit ridiculous, it looks silly, but it's not. It's few and far between. overall, the action's phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal. Like I said, I was really. It's among the best sci-fi movies I've seen in a very long time, and I mean very long time. I would consider it almost like a. It's I want to say sci-fi thriller, but it's closer to sci-fi horror because aliens and horror and monsters and stuff like that. So it's really good. The plot is good enough. The movie has a lot of heart, and I mean a lot of heart. I think that's probably the one of the strongest parts of the movie. The performances are really good, and Yvonne Strachowski is I don't know if that's how you say her name, but she's phenomenal in this film. Like Chris Pratt is really really good. There's a fun moment with Chris Pratt where he starts off being kind of like the goofy dad, and because he's a retired he was in the military and he retired from it, and so he's the goofy dad kind of. But the moment where he goes into soldier mode, you can see like the flip switching, and it's fantastic. It's a really great piece of acting because you can tell it's the same guy, and I don't mean just as Chris Pratt. I mean it's the same character, but it's just he flips the switch into military mode, and I thought that was really great because before he was just kind of being the goofy dad. Anyway, to me, the person who stole the show is Yvonne Strachowski. This is probably my favorite performance I've seen her in because it not only is she a badass, again, a lot of heart. A lot of really heart, a lot of heart in the role, and I love her because she has a special place in my heart because of Mass Effect. She played Miranda. I also really liked Chuck, but to me, this is I also really liked her in Dexter. But to me, this is at least my favorite thing that I've seen her in. She was my favorite part of the movie, and so I highly recommend the film. It's going to be a fun flick. It sucks because I would have loved to have seen it in the theater. And TJ has or I don't know if it still has it, but it had a 4D theater. So that movie, if it's there, I'm gonna go there and watch it. Honestly, I think if it comes out in theaters, I'll go there and watch it because the experience, it's fantastic. Because imagine a swarm of aliens coming at you like in the big screen. Like if in the small screen, I was watching it here in my computer. The screen's not that big. It was really tense. I can only imagine what's gonna be like in the big screen. The plot wise, like I said, it's a little bit silly, certain things. I have a few issues with it. They were asking me like what grade would I give the movie, and overall I would give it an 8 right now. Okay, I'm hyped. I'm hyped on the movie. Okay, as soon as I watched it, there was a lot of moments where I was like really tense. I was almost biting my nails. Like it was action. Again, a lot of action, but the pacing is weird in a sense that the final quarter of the film is not as great as the first 3 quarters. The first 3 quarters are phenomenal, are the best part of the movie. And then there's an extra part at the end that I'm almost like, well, they could have kind of made an extra movie there. Just, split it up. But it's what, 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 30. So I can see why you would just add it there at the end. It's, let's just say, I would have shortened that up a lot. Because it's okay to add it there. I would have just made the end part shorter, and it is important because it's the ending, and they introduce certain things there that kind of make other stuff make sense. And so, all right, it's important. I get it. It had to be there. It was just not as good as the first 3 quarters. The first 3 quarters are phenomenal, and it's really weird because the movie kind of has like 2 climaxes. It's really weird. And I think that the climax of the first 3 quarters is better than the climax of the last quarter, but whatever. So overall, I recommend the movie. I definitely recommend the movie. It's definitely, if you're gonna go to the movie theaters, I recommend it. If you're gonna see it at home, I recommend it. If you're a big scaredy cat, I recommend you watch it with somebody because it will be tense and it will be a little bit scary for some of you. But the acting's great. The music I really enjoyed. The effects are fantastic. And like I said, my girl Yvonne Strachowski is really really good in it. And the plot is it's good. Once you accept the premise of this particular world, because there's a lot of questions that you're like, hey, is that how that works? I don't think that's how that works. And once they kind of explain the rules, they keep them. They follow their rules. And to me, that's the most important thing when you're dealing with sci-fi. You set up the rules of the world and you stick to them. And that's what they do here. And maybe the rules, some of them are silly, but they follow them to a T, and that's good if you're a logical person. If you're just like there for the cool effects and stuff, it has the cool effects. If you're there for the very, very stressful situations, it's got the really stressful situations. If you're there for the good acting, it's got the good acting. If you're there for sometimes for the heartfelt moments, it's got the heartfelt moments. So overall, like I said, one of the better movies I've seen in a long time. At least this year, I think it's the best live action movie I've seen. I mean, granted, there haven't been that many live action movies that came out, but I right now I might be too hyped and I might be forgetting other ones, but this is my number one easily because Godzilla versus Kong nowhere near this good. Which one? Which one other? Mortal Kombat turd compared to this one in general. So I highly recommend this movie. It's really good. Definitely worth your money. Definitely worth your time. Enjoyable. So there you go. That's it. That's all I can say. I can't get into spoilers because again, the movie's not out yet, and it seems like a dick move. But there you go. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World, streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. ish. Tomorrow, I will be doing my breakdown of the newest episode of Loki at 2 p.m. If you want to join me, if you have thoughts, I really enjoyed the episode. And as always, like, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.